Have you noticed your phone can go from being useful to feeling like an annoying little scam machine in your pocket? You finally sit down. Maybe you've made a cup of tea. Maybe you're halfway through a show. Maybe you've just gotten comfortable for the first time all day. And then your phone rings. You look down. Unknown number. You ignore it. Then later on, it rings again. Different number. Same nonsense. And after a while, it starts to feel personal. Like these people have somehow decided your phone exists purely for their entertainment. One minute, it's a fake bank call. Next minute, it's someone pretending your Amazon account has been hacked. Then it's a robotic voice acting like your electricity is about to be switched off in 5 minutes unless you press one now. Press one now? No thanks, Trevor. I'd rather press mute on you forever. And that's exactly why this video matters. Because there is one hidden phone setting that can cut down a huge amount of this rubbish without you having to sit there blocking random numbers one by one like it's your new part-time job. And the best part, it's already built into your phone. So today I'm going to show you what that setting is, how it works, how to turn it on, and the one big worry people always have before using it. Because yes, this setting is brilliant, but there is one thing you need to understand so you can use it the smart way. Let's get into it. First, let's be honest about something. Scam calls are not just a bit annoying. They wear you down. That's the real problem. Because every time the phone rings and you don't recognize the number, your brain has to stop what it's doing and ask, is this important? Is this my doctor? Is this the chemist? Is this someone calling about an appointment? Is this family using a different phone? Or is it just another clown in a call center trying to scare me into giving away my detail? That tiny moment of uncertainty is exhausting. It's not only the call itself, it's the interruption. It's the suspicion. It's that little burst of stress. And if it keeps happening day after day, your phone starts to feel less like something helpful and more like a pest with a ringtone. Now, most people try to deal with scam calls the hard way. They block one number, then block another, then another. Then another. And for about 12 seconds, that feels satisfying. You think, that's right, got rid of you. Then your phone rings again from a different number. Because scammers do not sit there crying because you blocked them. They just use another number, and another, and another. Trying to stop scam calls one number at a time is like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. You can stand there looking determined, but the ocean is not impressed. That's why this hidden setting is so much smarter. Instead of fighting each random number one by one, it changes how your phone handles unknown callers in the first place. And that setting is called Silence Unknown Callers on iPhone. On Android, the wording can be a little different depending on the phone, but you'll usually see something like Block Unknown Callers, Block Unknown Numbers, or a spam and call screening option that does a similar job. And here's what it does. If someone calls you and they are not in your contacts, your phone does not ring. It does not buzz. It does not disturb you right in the middle of your day. The call gets sent straight to voicemail, and you can still see it later in your call history. That is the magic, because this setting does not make your phone explode. It does not erase civilization. It just stops strangers from barging into your peace like they own the place. And honestly, that's what makes this feel so good. It's not just a tech trick. It's a boundary. You are basically telling your phone, from now on, not every random person gets instant access to me. And really, that seems fair. If somebody wants to sell you fake solar panels, fake antivirus software, fake prize money, fake insurance, fake banking alerts, or fake panic in general, the least they can do is not interrupt your dinner. Now, let me show you how to turn this on. If you have an iPhone, this is very simple. Open Settings, scroll down to Phone, tap Silence Unknown Callers. Then switch it on. That's it. Seriously, it takes longer to decide what biscuit you want with your tea. Once it's on, unknown callers no longer ring through the normal way. They go straight to voicemail. Now, if you have an Android phone, don't panic. You're not left out. Android phones just love making everything sound slightly different depending on the brand. So here's the general path. Open your phone app, tap the three dots or menu, go into Settings, then look for something like Block Numbers, Caller ID and Spam, Filter Spam Calls, or Block Unknown Callers. The wording can vary, but the idea is the same. You're looking for the option that stops unknown numbers from ringing through and bothering you. Some Android phones make this easy. Some make it feel like the setting is hiding behind a hedge wearing sunglasses. But it's usually there. Now, this is the point where a lot of people stop and think, hang on, what if I miss a real call? And to be fair, that is the big question. Because the setting sounds amazing right up until your brain says, yes, but what if my doctor calls from a different number? What if a delivery driver is trying to find the house? What if the pharmacy rings me? What if a family member is using someone else's phone? What if it's something important? That concern is completely normal. In fact, for a lot of people, that one worry is the whole reason they never turn this setting on. So let's talk about it properly. Here's the key thing to remember. Real people behave differently from robocalls. A real person with a real reason to contact you will usually do at least one of these things. They'll leave a voicemail. They'll call back. They'll send a text. They'll follow up some other way. A robocall usually does not do that. A robocall is not emotionally invested in you. It is not sitting there thinking, I do hope Margaret gets this message about her totally real tax emergency. No, it's just software moving at speed. If you don't answer, it often drops you and moves to the next number. It wants volume, not conversation. That's why this setting works so well. It doesn't stop important people from existing. It just removes the interruption from the unknown ones. That is a big difference. And there's another thing people forget. Even if an unknown caller doesn't ring through loudly in the moment, the call can still appear in your history, and a real person can still leave a voicemail. So the setting is not making calls disappear into another dimension. It's just stopping them from barging through your day like an unwanted salesman at the front door. Now, I do want to be honest, because this is where trust matters. There is a downside. Yes, there may be times when a real but unfamiliar number goes straight to voicemail. That can happen. Maybe a courier rings. Maybe a clinic calls from a line you don't recognize. Maybe someone contacts you from a new number. So if you use this setting, you do need one new habit. Check your voicemail. That's the trade-off. But honestly, for many people, it is a very fair trade. Because think about what you're getting in return. Fewer interruptions, less irritation, less stress, less temptation to answer something you should never answer, less chance of being caught off guard by one of those robotic voices trying to frighten you into acting fast. And that matters, because scam calls are sneaky. They do not just annoy people, they catch people in tired moments, distracted moments, lonely moments, busy moments, moments when you're not expecting trouble. That's why even smart people can get rattled by them. It's not about being foolish, it's about being human. If the phone rings and somebody sounds urgent enough, official enough, or alarming enough, your brain can jump before your logic has even put its shoes on. That's why cutting down the number of these calls is such a smart move. The fewer of them that reach you, the fewer chances they get to pressure you. Now, here's the smartest way to use this setting. Do not just switch it on and then wander off into the sunset. Use it properly. Step 1. Add your important numbers to your contacts. Doctors, clinics, family, close friends, schools, the pharmacy, any regular services you deal with, anyone who genuinely matters. Because the more numbers you save, the better this setting works for you. Step 2. Get into the habit of checking your voicemail once a day, not 50 times a day. You do not need to turn into a voicemail detective. Just once a day is enough for most people. Step 3. If you are expecting an important call, be a little more alert that day. Maybe save the number in advance if you have it. Maybe watch your voicemail a little more closely. And step 4, tell trusted people to leave a message if you don't answer. That way, if something real comes through from an unfamiliar number, you still get the message without the interruption. That is how you make this setting work with your life instead of against it. Now, who is this setting especially good for? Honestly, quite a lot of people. It's great for anyone who gets constant robocalls. It's great for anyone who's tired of unknown numbers disturbing them. It's great for anyone who feels a little jolt of dread every time the phone rings. It's great for anyone who has already had scam attempts before. And it's especially good for people who just want their phone to go back to being helpful instead of ridiculous. Because let's face it, a phone should make life easier. It should not feel like a tiny scam-themed casino in your hand, where every ring is another spin of the wheel. Now imagine the difference after turning this setting on. Before, the phone rings during dinner. The phone rings while you're resting. The phone rings in the car. The phone rings halfway through your favorite show. The phone rings just when you've sat down. And every time you have to stop and wonder if this one matters. After, quiet. If it's important, they can leave a message. If it's nonsense, it doesn't get to poke you in the brain in real time. That is the real beauty of this setting. It's not only about robocalls, it's about peace, it's about control. It's about deciding that not every stranger gets the right to interrupt your life. And in a world where everybody seems to want your attention, your money, your details, or your panic, that matters more than ever. So if you've been putting up with these calls thinking, well, I suppose this is just how phones are now, it doesn't have to be. There is a better way. Turn on the setting, save your important contacts, check voicemail once a day, and make your phone feel like yours again. Because really, that's the whole point. Not to become some tech expert, and not to spend all day battling scammers like it's a hobby. Just to make one small change that gives you a quieter, calmer, less irritating day. And frankly, I think we all deserve that. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Senior Safety for more simple, practical tips to help you stay safer, smarter, and one step ahead of the nonsense. And after this video, you'll really get a lot of value from the next one on screen too.